Hi, Mark Robertson back with you. I'm talking about my book, Carrying Lawn Chairs, Youth Sports, and Other Parental Mindsets. As I mentioned on each one of our get togethers here, the first part of the book is about parents and youth sports, organized youth sports, and all the problems I have with it, and how I think young kids, very young kids, shouldn't even be put into organized youth sports. I think overall it harms them, and at the very least, it's something they're not interested in and don't really want to do, and it doesn't help them out. Getting an early start doesn't help kids out in sports. It actually might probably burns them out, actually. But today we're on the second part of the book where I talk about various other things related to the parent-child dynamic. We've gone over a number of topics, and today my chapter is called Talk, No Talk. I'm going over each chapter in my book, so you can watch all these YouTube presentations and don't have to buy the book, but of course you can. You can get it electronically or the regular book version on Amazon. And the title, like I say, is Talk, No Talk. Well, what could that possibly be about? Well, not all kids are the same, as we've been saying. Some kids are naturally more introverted. They don't talk as naturally. They aren't as outgoing. And parents a lot of times panic about this. But that's their natural state. That's who they are. They actually get relief from being by themselves. It's an introverted world, and they have to deal with that all day. So they need some downtime, some time by themselves. And sometimes parents get very concerned about, why did he go to his room to be by himself? I mean, that's kind of strange. And why isn't he outgoing? Why isn't he the life of the party like our other kids are? The kids in the same families can be introverts and extroverts, obviously, like we've talked about. Every child is different. Every child is unique. But this causes parents to be uneasy and to want them to force them to be extroverts, which, again, your parents are forcing them to be something that they aren't, and it's not a good situation. And they want them to transform, and that's like transforming from left-handed to right-handed. Now, a child, the world is extroverted, like we say. He's going to have to do things to get along in the extroverted world. And yes, they can learn how to do that and still get some downtime and relax and recharge their batteries. And they kind of naturally know how to do that until the parents get in the way of it and they start forcing them or worrying about them, and then the child starts worrying. They know how to deal with situations. But unfortunately, the introverts are targets for bullies because that they're not as outgoing, and they seem to be able to be taken advantage of easier. And so that's another challenge the introverts face. And it's not easy, but the introverts have so much to offer the world. They see the world, they see the bigness of the world, they see the big picture, they can see the unconscious of the world. I mean, they're good at writing things and expressing their inner feelings, and so they're very needed, and they're good at writing poetry or expressing themselves, like I said, and their view of the world is definitely something that is very much needed, and it's not a problem at all. It's like we talked about before, the ADHD. It's just a different view of the world, and there's nothing wrong with being an introvert. There's nothing wrong with being an extrovert, and extroverts also, they need to be able to understand that not everybody's like them. I mean, they think that if they're not going to talk all the time, there's something wrong with them. Well, there's nothing wrong with them. Or they think, oh, they're kind of rude, they're not talking all the time. No, extroverts have to learn that some people are introverted and they're not being rude. They're just being themselves. That's who they are. They don't mean to be rude. It's just that they're not always as outgoing as they are. And a lot of extroverts think everybody should be like them. And if they're not, there's something wrong with them. And like I say, a phrase for the introverts could be still waters run deep. They may not be outgoing. If you know them, a lot of times they are very funny and very good to get along with, and entertaining to be around, and humorous, and have a great sense of humor. But like I say, they don't come in and just become the life of the party automatically. They're not the happy-go-lucky guy, the fellow well-met. They're more reserved, and it's just naturally who they are. They're not holding back. They're not it's the difference between being an introvert and being shy. Introversion is who you are. Shyness is something you kind of develop. But they're similar. But introversion is just the way a person is born. That's how their natural traits are. Like I say, right-handed or left-handed. And we should celebrate introversion rather than criticize it. And bring out the best of them, like I've said all through the book. My main goal is to bring out the best in young people, bring out their goodness, and there's so much goodness that they have to offer. And there's so much that they can do, and so much that they bring about and to this world that is good. And we can celebrate each child, whether they're an introvert or an extrovert, bring out their best. Yes, they got to deal with the crazy details of the world and do the things they have to do and learn how to be responsible and things like that. but each child has an inner genius that needs to be developed, and introverts have a great inner genius. And not, of course, not all introverts are the same either. Each introvert is different, but an introversion is a general way of being to the world, seeing the world, and they should be celebrated. So thanks for joining us, and we will talk to you next time.